with Don. What are your views, Don, on beach renourishment?
Whoa, you got the right person on that one. First off, I have not signed the easement. I will not sign the easement. I will never sign the easement that the Army Corps of Engineers has asked for. I have been bestowed a title of SFA, which I will gladly tell y'all in private, because it is rather disgusting, but it was bestowed upon me by a past president of A2K, was also on the city commission for several years. But that is the title because I would not sign that. But I want to say something to you. 60% of your neighbors on the beach are SFAs. They have not signed the easement, and they're not going to sign the easement. There's a lot of reasons for this that are not being, our city commission has not done a thing to address it. They have not done anything. I have tried to meet with the mayor, especially when some of the first, I also went to the Big C. We are like Charles Dickens, more please, you know, we're not fighting for it, we're just begging.
Denise.
Well, Don, you're wrong. We are fighting for it. And as a matter of fact, in my opinion, it's like the Corps of Engineers kind of set us up for failure, right? Expecting 100% compliance. Because in this social climate, nobody trusts the government 100%. And I just don't think that was ever going to be a win-win. So we're working on a crew with the state, the county level, and taking it to the federal government, but we want that easement clause taken out of that contract because we have to have renourishment. If we don't have renourishment, then we're going to lose our tourism. We're going to lose dollars, and the state doesn't want that. So I have complete faith that we're gonna get this turned around, and we're gonna get new sand on our beaches in the next year to 2 years.
Thank you. Preston.
I am also in favor of replenishing the beach here in Indian Army Beach. I hate to see it. I don't think it's good for the animals and the environment they're living on the beach, but it is necessary. It's such a wonderful thing to have here, the sands to sit on, so I would be in favor of replenishing the beach. I just learned tonight that our next scheduled replenishment isn't until 2030, and I am afraid that might be too long. However, I think that our beach actually benefited from the last hurricane that went into Fort Myers, and we actually got a little bit of sand from that one for free. So I would be in favor of replenishing the beach.
Lamb.
I am in favor of replenishing the beach, but again, I do not want to step on the individual rights of our beachfront neighbors. What I would propose, and again, I know there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I'm not seeing, but I would propose that we sit down with the two groups. We find out what's going on. I know there is a concern about permanent easement rights from the beachfront community. And I also understand the Army Corps of Engineers is tired of having to constantly come back every 5 years and have everybody sign. I do agree that we have set ourselves up, that we have been set up for failure, because getting 100% of people to agree on one thing is impossible. But could we go have these two sides meet together and do a 3-month easement in perpetuity every 5 years, not affecting permanent easement rights? We need to think outside the box. We need to look for problems, look at the problems, and look for ways to solve them. And I'm firm in belief that we have a lot of intelligent people in our municipality that are doing just that. But I'm hoping I can add to that vision.
Thank you. All right, our next question, and we will go to Denise first. Should Indian Rocks Beach set a minimum wage of $15 per hour?
Should they set a minimum wage of $15 per hour for our staff?
The question was sort of generic, so
Yeah,
yes, you can answer
I'm not exactly sure what their lowest wage rate is now. I think some of them are making a lot more than that. So, that sounds a little low to me.
Yeah, would anyone in the audience like to be more specific about the minimum wage question?
If I may, I know when city employees get hired in, they do make $15 an hour.
Okay.
That is the starting wage.
But I think a lot of cities are moving to minimum wage for everyone, so my guess is the question is for everyone. I didn't write it, but don't cities do that these days?
I don't think this city will be doing that.
I guess maybe that is their question.
Yeah, I think that's the,
I think that's the question.
I don't think that this city will consider dropping wages to minimum wage.
You know what, I think that there's not a lot of clarity about this question, we will put that aside, and we should go first and get into this next question.
Okay.
Since that is not quite. All right, what is your management or communication style, and how would it fit in with the current board members, or how has it fit in with the current board members since you're currently already on the board?
I think pretty smoothly. I think that I'm pretty open to concepts. I talk easily. I share my opinions easily. I don't fight. And then I enjoy working with people. And I enjoy solving problems.
All right, Preston, your management or communication style?
I am a pretty laid back person. I'm friendly and I think easy to get along with. I think I could get along with the rest of the candidates here and the other board members. I think Indian Rocks Beach has traditionally been very well managed and it's such a wonderful community. Everyone is so happy to be here and laid back for being at the beach. Yes, I'm more of a laid back person. I do think we'll need to be forceful though and make sure that the vacation rental owners and the people that they're renting to respect our rules and understand that we will be looking to shut them down if they keep causing trouble.
Lan, your communication style or management style?
My communication style kind of comes from a Stephen Covey, Seek First to Understand. As jumping into this role, I've actually taken the time, tried to meet with many of our city commissioners to kind of understand what a day in the life of a city commissioner involves. I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to a few. I've actually scheduled a meeting with Greg Mims so I could understand what is the operation, how do I fit in, how is the culture. We have a very tight-knit culture here in this small community, even within the municipality. I see everybody working well together. Again, I am open to communication. I am ever learning, and if you were to talk to my wife, I live a life of humility because I do not know it all. And there are smarter people in the room than me that can help us succeed.
Okay, thank you. John?
Well, I'm the smoothest talking guy in the room, I just want to tell you that, so. Okay, now, you know, I really, I express my views. I don't try and just do a platitude that can kind of fit anything. And when I talk to somebody, there's always the thing that you've got to feel that you're getting some respect coming back. You try, I agree with Lan there. I know I'm the smartest person in the room about something, but I know that every other person in this room is the smartest person in the room about something. That's always the way it goes. And you have to respect that, no matter where you're doing or what you're doing. And what I have found, why I really want to be on the commission now, is that for the past 2 decades, we have not had that sharing of respect. It's been been run by a very close-knit group. You cannot express any divisive or different attitude at all, and we have to change that, or we're going to just end up in what kind of mess we're in right now. Thank you.
All right, next question, we will start with Preston. Do you believe city staff should be allowed to override override zoning code and give developers more height and width?
No, I am completely against that. I prefer small beach cottages here in Indian Rocks Beach as opposed to the modern high-rises like you find in Clearwater Beach. I am against big development, and I would like to save our community for future generations, and am not in favor of any special allowances for giant buildings.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. This is how it was written. Do you believe city staff should be allowed to override zoning code and give developers more height and width?
Absolutely not. The zoning codes were established, by the city commission. They are a set, standard that needs to be followed and carried through with. For the city staff to do that, they're taking away the rights of our citizens, by unilaterally deciding, that height and width, is allowed for some of these large developers. And we need to be careful on that street. I would say that they should not.
Don?
Well, they can't without a public hearing, so, they can try and do stuff, but they can't do it without a public hearing. And so, it's gotten where now, just about every project that comes forth, goes through a review and a public hearing, because there's always something a little bit, different about it that has to be done. I'm probably gonna piss off a few people here, but I'm gonna tell you something about when it comes to height of buildings. I always look at trips per day. How much are we adding to Gulf Boulevard? It's tough to get out. The traffic's bad. How do we control that? And I look at stuff, and I always go back to Scapello. Scapello is right down the street from me. It's a massive place. They did not have to have one variance. They built 18 units there. They had, it's basically divided in thirds, a third on the water, a third in the middle, and a third on the road. And I always looked at that, if the developer came and said, look guys, I'm gonna go much smaller footprint, 1/3 the size of what I'm putting up right now. There's gonna be, the open space is gonna be 10 times what it would be, or what we're legally able to build. If the city doesn't go and say, you know what, we'll give you an extra height, an extra floor, the money's on the water side. Any developer would take that and not build those other 12 units.
Thank you. Denise?
You know, we're one of the few cities that limit the height to 3 stories over parking. You can't build any higher, like you said, like Don said, without coming in for a public hearing or a granted variance of asking for more height on your building. So, no, I think that we're good with the density that we allow and the height we allow.
Okay, thank you. All right, next question, and we start with land. What are 2 things you could change immediately at Indian Rocks Beach if you could? Money and time are no object.
I would remove short-term rentals from our single residential neighborhoods. That would be the first thing. The second thing is I would remove short-term rentals.
Don?
Wow, who's gonna follow that?
Well, I don't disagree with Land that if this had never happened, then we wouldn't be in the hot mess that we are right now. We're trying to figure out how to manage it and how to maintain some safety and some guidelines within our neighborhoods and not keep people up with a 4-piece band in your backyard. So yeah, it's been problematic. But I also think that beach renourishment is another big issue that's gonna have to be resolved quickly. Thank you.
Preston, 2 things you could change immediately at Indian Rocks Beach if you could. Money and time, no object.
I think a major problem that we have with the short-term vacation rentals is the nuisance from the noise. And so I think if we were able to put electronic monitoring monitoring devices on these vacation rentals, that could be connected to the Wi-Fi and send a message to the unit owner or to the vacation renter to, hey, keep it down. I think that could alleviate a lot of the anger that we're having. And the second idea I just had today, and that is the gas station that's there on the corner of Walsingham. I would like to see that cleaned up or removed or fixed.
Thank you. All right, next question, and we will start with Dawn. What do you like about the current board, and what would you like to see done differently if you joined the board?
Oh, Denise. But she's close enough to hit me if I didn't say that. It's tough. I really, y'all, a lot of y'all see me come to meetings. I come to a lot of meetings, and I express my opinion, which is why I have so few friends. But I think that I would make sure that if I was up on the board, everybody would be listened to.
All right, Denise?
He's getting harder to follow, isn't he? You know, I kind of enjoy working with all the commissioners. I don't have any problem with anybody. And it always seems like when we hit one of these places where there's a lot to fix, there's a lot to resolve, and believe me, one thing I found about this island is we are filled with impassioned people. We don't lack any passion on this island. When we get fired up about something, we're ready to roll on it, and we want it fixed right now. And that's probably been one of my frustrations, is working with a group that is city government, that nothing moves fast here. It's not like owning your own business. It takes a few cycles to get things rolling and get ideas and get it written down and get it legislated and get it voted on and get everybody into some sort of agreement with it. It's a very slow, agonizing process. And so you just have to be patient. Thank you.
All right. Preston, what do you like about this current board, and if you were to join the board, what would you like to see done differently?
I have a lot of respect for the current board members. I think it's a very difficult job with difficult questions to answer. I appreciate how they allow us to come here and speak for 3 minutes and grant each other time, and I think that helps our community a lot. I would like to have more elections like this, and we have more volunteers and more people to come and stand up and do this job, and I'm in favor of term limits.
All right, Lan, same question.
Like I said, I've come from the business sector. I'll kind of agree with Denise House on kind of the frustration that government sometimes prevails, because it does take a little bit more time to get things done, because I tend to be results oriented. As far as the group of commissioners, I think they're doing a great job. I mean, they're answering the call to homes, not hotels. They're putting ordinance together, and these people are coming under fire by people that do not live here, and I want to call them foreign investors, because they're out of state, many of them, or out of city, and they have some tough decisions to make, but they're coming together. I'm proud of what they've done so far. And I'm looking forward, but again, being results oriented, I'm looking forward to seeing them finish what has been started. And I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of it and the results and how we can take back our community for our residents.
Okay, thank you. All right, Denise, next question, we start with you. If you don't win, will you continue to be involved in Indian Rock's politics or civic life, and in what ways specifically would you stay involved?
I think most importantly, since we have an RFP on the street for a brand new website, I definitely want to be involved in how the infrastructure of that is built, because I think that our current website is so outdated, and there's not really any way to engage with the city through that portal, that I'm really looking forward to helping the city
way specifically that you'd be involved?
Yes, absolutely. I plan on being here long term. I'm not going anywhere. I really enjoy running for this office because I've met so many wonderful neighbors here, and everyone has been very friendly to me. And I would likely run again next year and continue on meeting more people here in North Beach and helping volunteer and solve our problems. So I do plan on continuing to stay politically active here in North Beach.
Lan?
Absolutely. As I've shared, I'm a member of Action 2000, integrated in that. My wonderful twins are turning 18 and actually heading off to college this summer. So Don, you're gonna have to put up with me a whole lot more. And you too, Denise. So with that, I plan on being more active. This has actually opened up the doors for some other opportunities I never saw. We're, homeowners of Indian Rocks Beach, hundreds of opportunities to volunteer there, provide the skills and support. I plan on becoming, I am and plan on becoming more active in Indian Rocks Beach and developing more friendships and developing that community of people.
Don?
Well, that sign down there has been through 4 elections, never won one, and I'm still out here. So, let's not even go down that trail, okay? I'll be here, they can't get rid of me, all right? So, I'm gonna be here. As far as in the civic, yeah, JD's 8 to 10, they have a good band, I'm down there.
Okay, thank you. All right. Our next question, we will start with Preston. How do you think the city should regulate short-term vacation rental properties in the commercial tourist district of Indian Rocks Beach?
I think it's very important that we properly enforce the rules that we already have on the books. And I think it is a mistake to start creating more rules and more restrictions that might not technically be legal. So I think that hiring a special magistrate to enforce the code, and that would be an outside business, so it's creating jobs, and then it takes it out of the city commission's hands, and this company can enforce and make sure that people they're building up to the codes for the vacation rentals. I think that I like the idea that they were talking about with the website that's going to be organizing all of the vacation rentals advertising. It'll have their phone numbers for the owners, and I think that's a good plan to keep an eye on the properties. I'd like to see a paragraph write-up in the rental agreement and posted on the rental property, telling the vacationers that they're going to need to carefully respect our rules. And I'm not in favor of the 3 strikes, you're out idea. I think that fines should be commensurate with the offense.
Lan?
Could you repeat?
I'd be happy to. How do you think the city should regulate short-term vacation rental properties in the commercial tourist district of Indian Rocks Beach?
The commercial tourist district is not a single family residence. The commercial tourist district, hotels and motels, they are already abiding by many restrictions set forth within their guidelines and codes. And with that being said, I think that they're doing a great job with that. I think our commissioners are putting together a common sense ordinance that will cover both sides of the road and put our friends in the commercial district on a level playing field with these short-term rental investors.
Thank you. Don?
Well, I live in the CT zoning, lived there 35 years, been coming there 50 years, been dealing with all these rentals and all that. We're used to it, we don't have a problem. Yeah, there might be some guy parked wrong, you gotta tell him to move or something, but these are tweezer issues. I think, and I truly believe, that the only reason when when the city commission brought this up, they were only talking the east side of Gulf Boulevard. The only reason the west side got brought up was money. All I could see is cabaret every time I hear, or it's, what's the one, Jerry Maguire, show me that money, or better, Snoop Dogg. I got my mind, my money, yeah, whatever, I'll take naked gin and juice. Anyway, it's only for, they just want that $500. There's 1,700 units west of Gulf Boulevard. Multiply that's $500. The city administration is drooling over that cash cow.
Denise, same question, would you like me to read?
Yeah, I don't agree with Don on that. I really think it's more about safety. I think that with the city, their concern is safety and safety for the visitors that come here. You know, a lot of the structures, even like what happened in Miami with the collapse of that building, that it really should have never happened, but it did. And now we need to inspect these buildings to make sure that they're safe enough for people to stay in them. And that the swimming pools have all the safety issues managed around them as well, because it's about protecting the visitors. So I think inspections is a big part of it. I think the application fee is commensurate with the inspection and the monitoring. I mean, there's almost all the services on this island are based around taking care of visitors, because there's not that many